Human sacrifice. Few practices have stirred more horror than human sacrifice. Found in ancient cultures from the Aztecs to the Druids, it was believed that offering human lives could please gods, ensure good harvests, or bring military victories. The Aztecs performed sacrifices atop pyramids, cutting out hearts to feed the sun god Huitzilopochtli. In ancient Carthage, children were allegedly burned alive to honor Baal-Hamon. These acts were often tied to religious cosmology, not sadism. They were seen as essential to cosmic balance. Human sacrifice was banned across most civilizations as societies embraced organized religion, moral law, and human rights. By the Middle Ages, nearly every major faith had outlawed it, viewing it as murder disguised as devotion. Cannibal rituals. Cannibalistic rituals have existed in various cultures, often as part of religious, funerary, or warfare-related ceremonies. For example, the four people of Papua New Guinea practiced endocannibalism, consuming deceased relatives' flesh as a mark of respect and a means of spiritual connection. Similarly, some Aztec ceremonies involved eating portions of sacrificed captives to honor gods. These practices were believed to transfer strength, ensure divine favor, or maintain social bonds. European colonizers, missionaries, and modern governments banned such rituals due to ethical, health, and legal concerns, citing homicide, disease transmission, and human rights violations. Today, cannibalistic practices are illegal worldwide, prosecuted under murder, desecration, or public health laws, with surviving accounts preserved only anthropologically. Sati, or Suti, was a funeral ritual once practiced in parts of India, where a widow would immolate herself on her husband's funeral pyre. Rooted in ancient Hindu customs, it was believed to demonstrate ultimate loyalty, ensuring both souls reunited in the afterlife. Over time, it became a symbol of patriarchal virtue, often enforced by social pressure rather than true choice. The British colonial authorities first banned sati in 1829 under Governor-General Lord William Bentinck after witnessing thousands of deaths. Indian reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy condemned it as inhumane and unspiritual. Despite the ban, isolated incidents occurred for decades. Modern Indian law strictly prohibits sati and its glorification under the Commission of Sati Prevention Act, 1987. Witches' Sabbath. The Witches' Sabbath was believed to be a nocturnal gathering where witches met to worship the devil, perform dark rituals, and engage in forbidden acts like flying, feasting on unholy food, and summoning demons. These beliefs originated in medieval Europe, particularly during the Inquisition. Authorities claimed witches gathered on mountaintops or remote clearings to renounce Christianity and gain supernatural power. In truth, most accused witches were innocent victims of superstition, misogyny, and religious panic. The concept of the Sabbath justified mass witch hunts across Germany, France, and England between the 15th and 17th centuries. As rationalism and legal reform spread, such trials were outlawed. Today, witchcraft persecution remains illegal under human rights law worldwide. Black Mass. The Black Mass is a ritualized inversion of the traditional Catholic Mass, designed to mock, desecrate, or summon demonic forces. Emerging in Europe during the 16th and 17th centuries, it was linked to accusations of Satanism and heresy. Participants would reportedly use consecrated objects, chant blasphemous prayers, and perform acts intended to corrupt the sacred, including sexual rites or symbolic sacrifices. The Church treated the Black Mass as one of the most dangerous forms of witchcraft, associating it with demonic pacts and societal corruption. In response, secular and religious authorities criminalized its practice, with participants often executed or imprisoned. Today, Black Masses remain illegal where blasphemy, desecration, or occult rituals targeting public morality are prohibited. Goetia. Goetia refers to a branch of ritual magic rooted in ancient and medieval occult traditions, most famously compiled in the 17th century text, The Lesser Key of Solomon. This grimoire describes the summoning and control of 72 demons said to serve King Solomon. Practitioners of Goetia used sigils, circles, and invocations to command spirits for knowledge, wealth, or power. Unlike benign ceremonial magic, Goetia explicitly dealt with demonic forces, making it one of the most feared occult practices in Europe. The Catholic Church condemned it as heresy and witchcraft, leading to widespread bans. Possession of grimoires or performing spirit summoning rituals was punishable by death or imprisonment during the Inquisition. Even today, many countries restrict occult ritual materials under blasphemy or anti-sorcery laws. Necromancy. Necromancy, the practice of communicating with or raising the dead, dates back to ancient civilizations such as Greece, Egypt, and Babylon. Practitioners called necromancers claimed to summon spirits to gain hidden knowledge, predict the future, or seek revenge. Rituals often took place in graveyards or temples dedicated to death gods like Hades or Osiris. Methods included using blood offerings, bones, or incantations to draw spirits from the underworld. While early societies tolerated necromancy as part of religious or shamanic practice, it was later banned by Judaism, Christianity, and Islam as a grave sin, literally and spiritually. By the Middle Ages, necromancy became synonymous with black magic, punishable by death under church law. Modern legal systems classify it as desecration of graves or fraudulent spiritualism. Voodoo dolls. Voodoo dolls are often associated with Haitian Vodou and Louisiana Voodoo, though their origins are widely misunderstood. In true Vodou religion, dolls, called pwen, serve as spiritual focal points for healing, protection, and communication with spirits, not tools for harm. The Western idea of stabbing dolls to curse enemies came later, largely from colonial fears and Hollywood portrayals. In reality, most traditional Vodou rituals revolve around balance, respect for ancestors, and invoking benevolent spirits called LWA. However, due to widespread misuse and occult adaptations, some countries, including Haiti and parts of West Africa, placed restrictions on harmful or exploitative voodoo practices. Modern bans target malicious ritual uses rather than genuine Vodou faith itself. Baphomet ritual. Baphomet rituals center on the symbolic figure of Baphomet, a horned deity often associated with occultism, Satanism, and esoteric traditions. The figure gained notoriety in the 19th century through the writings of occultists like Eliphas Levi, who depicted Baphomet as a symbol of balance between opposites, male and female, light and dark. Rituals involving Baphomet often include invocations, meditations, or ceremonial magic intended to harness spiritual power or achieve personal transformation. Authorities in Europe and later the US frequently banned such rituals, linking them to Satanism, moral corruption, or heretical practices. Modern legal restrictions typically apply when rituals involve public desecration, illegal acts, or perceived threats to social order. Magic sigils. Magic sigils are symbols created for use in occult rituals, intended to manifest a specific desire, command spiritual forces, or influence reality. Originating in medieval and Renaissance ceremonial magic, sigils were often derived from letters of a statement of intent, then stylized into a unique glyph. Practitioners would charge the sigil through meditation, visualization, or ritual actions, releasing it to the subconscious or spiritual planes. While primarily symbolic, authorities historically feared sigils for their association with witchcraft, Goetia, and demonic invocation. In Europe, possession of magical symbols or manuals explaining their use was sometimes prosecuted as heresy or sorcery. Modern bans on sigils are rare, but occult or malicious applications remain restricted in some jurisdictions. Ayahuasca ceremonies. Ayahuasca ceremonies, practiced for centuries by indigenous tribes in the Amazon, involve drinking a psychoactive brew made from the Banisteriopsis caapi vine and other plants. The ritual is intended to induce visions, spiritual insight, and emotional healing under the guidance of a shaman. While deeply sacred in local cultures, governments outside South America have often banned or strictly regulated its use due to the presence of DMT, a potent hallucinogen. Countries including the United States, Japan, and parts of Europe classify DMT as a controlled substance, making unsupervised ayahuasca use illegal. Exceptions exist for recognized religious or cultural contexts, but unauthorized ceremonies are treated as drug offenses, reflecting tension between spiritual tradition and modern legal frameworks. Cannabis rituals. Cannabis has been used in religious and spiritual rituals for thousands of years. From ancient Hindu bong ceremonies to Rastafarian practices in Jamaica, ritual use often involves smoking, drinking, or ingesting cannabis to achieve altered states, enhance meditation, or commune with the divine. Despite its cultural and spiritual significance, many governments banned cannabis in the 20th century, citing health risks, addiction potential, and social order concerns. The United States classified it as a Schedule Y drug under the 1970 Controlled Substances Act, while other countries, like Singapore and Saudi Arabia, imposed strict penalties including imprisonment or death. Modern exemptions exist for religious use in specific contexts, but general recreational or ritual use remains restricted in most nations. Throughout history, certain rituals and practices have been suppressed, revealing just how threatening forbidden traditions can seem. To dive deeper into the world of forbidden symbols, subscribe and watch our next video, Banned Symbols.